Alright, I want to do a video here real quick. The Saturn 96 Saturn SL2, and I'm changing the oil. It's imperative you keep the oil checked on these vehicles because when they get to 140, 50, 60,000 miles like these do, it burns a lot of oil. So you got to check it. We check this once a week. It does go through a lot of oil. My daughter does drive a lot. Anyway, so I want to show you where the main reason is the filter location for the oil filter. Now, usually some people think, oh, it's down in here somewhere or underneath the car by the oil pan. There's a transmission filter down here. Be sure not to take that one off. That's for transmission. The oil filter, actually, it's a wonderful design. You have to actually take the tire off, and you pull this inner shroud off here, this cover anyway, and you can see where's this frame there. That's our oil filter. That's the existing one I got to take out. So we drain the oil first. The oil pan's pretty much almost directly underneath that, accessible from underneath the car. So jacked it up, put jack stands always, and there it is. And I use a strap wrench I have. Usually works good to take it off without crushing it. You don't want to crush the filter. Definitely don't want to crush it putting it on. But that's it. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to get to unless you really know. You got to have a floor jack, and this is the way you do it. Once you know it and do it, it's not too bad. But again, not a good design. But another thing my wife mentioned a while back, we changed the valve cover gasket because it was leaking bad. Usually they leak right around here. This is where where the chain is. So there's really no gaskets you can buy that fit this. This is the aluminum head or a valve cover. There's a plastic one also. Anything you buy fits the plastic, so you don't want to do that. So after doing a lot of research, what I discovered is people use Permatex, and they get the blue Permatex. You can get it at any auto parts store and make your own gasket. There's videos, really good ones, how to clean it. We did this last summer. It hasn't leaked yet. And so yeah, this is the only gasket, and actually from the factory this is how it comes, with a gasket pretty much the same way. So you got to clean it well. Just look, you'll find the video. Maybe I'll post a link to the one I used. And that's it. Another main reason, well, this came with the plastic one originally. My father had replaced it because it had cracked. They typically did crack. The thing is, when you go from a plastic to this aluminum valve cover gasket, these screws are too long. What happens is they don't go in all the way, so you don't get a good seal, and then you get leaking. So I actually used a couple washers here. I'll zoom in. I got from work. You can probably get any hardware store. There's two washers there because this bolt won't go any farther in, and this, what happens, the gasket wouldn't seal. Luckily I knew this before I put it on. So a lot of people have that issue. They say, hey, I changed it out, it's leaking. And then there's torque specifications. The video I'll try to reference if I can dig it up again. You don't want to go, it's very little. It's like inch pounds on this. You don't use a torque wrench with foot pounds. It's a very, there's ways you can convert. To me, the easiest way is just get a torque wrench that works for inch pounds. So anyway, that's that. And we have not had any leaks. We've probably put about 7,000 miles on this car since we changed it. Typically they leak back here on the back side of the valve cover, and because the chain goes up through here inside. But that anyway, I just wanted to mention that too. But so I'm going to finish changing oil on this 96 Saturn SL2. Oh, one more thing now that I see it here. For some reason, these Saturns, if it's the slightest bit low on antifreeze, the light will come on. I mean, it can be just barely low in here. It's very, very sensitive. So if you get a coolant, I think it's a coolant transmission, it's like a whole universal light that comes on intermittently. That was happening. I did some research, found that the sensor is really high in here, so it doesn't have to be very low at all. So keep this topped off, just like it says in your book or manual, or you know how you do. So anyway, it's a good car. Keep the oil levels up. Typically what happens is the oil, they burn up, you know, no oil. And other than that, they're very reliable. People swear by them. There's a guy named Rich Penn. Look up his videos, and he's got a lot. I've referenced his material a lot, and a lot of things I've done in this car. So anyway, gonna finish this up. See ya.